everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day. Today I want to talk to you about savings. I've decided that 2021 is going to be my year of savings. Now I didn't make this a New Year's resolution because this is something I kind of want to do separately from that. And the reason being is because in about August last year, I noticed that I had a little bit of leftover money in my bank account at the end of every month as a result of doing my no-buy. And so I thought it's time to start doing something sensible with that money. So in August, I set up 3 types of accounts in order to put that money somewhere. Now, there's no harm in leaving it just in your main bank account, but for me, I wanted to detach it from the account my debit card's attached to because then I couldn't spend it. So for starters, I began putting £100 a week into a cash ISA. In the UK, an ISA is an individual savings account. They are considered to be effective for savings because the interest you earn on them comes tax-free up to the amount of £20,000. You can pay lump sums into them as long as your total within a year doesn't exceed £20,000, or you can set up a direct debit to pay at regular intervals out of your normal bank account every single week, month, however often you'd like to. A cash ISA is very simple and straightforward. It is just like another bank account where you can put money that you have going spare into the account and it will just sit there generating interest. The interest rate is typically higher than, let's say, your current account, but at the same time, they're nothing special, they're not tremendously high, but they will earn you a small amount of money if left over time. Cash ISAs are considered to be risk-free because your money just sits there in the account and generates the interest for you. Whereas other ISAs like stocks and shares ISAs takes into account the stock market and that can go up or down, meaning there is a level of risk involved. Since August, I've been paying £100 a week into my cash ISA just so it can sit there and start to accumulate over time. If you're thinking about setting up a cash ISA, that's absolutely fine, but do just take care. Whilst there are many different types of ISAs in the UK, you can only have one of each type of ISA open at a time. So you can have a cash ISA, you can have a stocks and shares ISA, you can have a help to buy ISA, but you can't have 2 cash ISAs or 2 stocks and shares ISAs, which is why it's important to shop around and make sure you're getting the best provider for you in order for your money to generate as much interest as possible. The next thing I set up in August was a stocks and shares ISA. Again, that's another ISA, so I have 2 different types of ISAs going on, and you just have to be careful that between those 2 ISAs, they don't exceed that £20,000 a year allowance that you are given. So you do have to bear in mind if you've got more than one ISA, they all contribute to that £20,000. A stocks and shares ISA is also tax efficient because you don't pay tax on the interest that you earn. However, there is far more risk involved. You may not always get the return that you put in the first place, and it is considered more of a medium to long-term investment. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Typically, you'd be expected to leave your money in a stocks and shares ISA for at least 5 years, maybe 10, before you start to see any significant changes. The way that I viewed the risk and determining how much I want to put into a stocks and shares ISA, well, I considered my spending history. I decided that I could spare £100 a month to risk in a stocks and shares ISA. And the reason being is because I was easily spending over £100 a month in non-essential, basically rubbish that wasn't serving me a good purpose. So if I was happy to waste that money, then I sort of justified it as realistically, I can put that money into an account that may earn me over time a significant amount of money, or at the same time might lose me money. But if that's £100 I would have originally just been wasting, then I'm happy to at least risk it. I might come out with nothing, but I might come out with something. And the last thing I set up was a premium bonds account. And the way that works is you buy premium bonds, each bond is £1, and so if you buy £50 worth, then you've got 50 bonds. And then every month there is a draw to win prizes of different amounts. And you might be thinking that sounds a bit like a lottery. The difference being is if you don't win that month, you don't lose the money you put in. It just sort of sits there in an account, just like a bank account. The only difference is you don't earn interest on that. So if you don't win one of the prizes, then your investment hasn't gained in value. It will just sit there as your £50 if that's what you put in the first place. However, if you do win one of the prizes, which can be anything from £25 up to £1 million, then for the lower amounts you can treat that as the interest you would have made if that had been sat in a bank account with a standard interest rate. In my second month of having a premium bonds account, I won the smallest prize, which was £25. And at the time I had £200 sat in that account, which, if I think about it, £200 sat in a bank account for that amount of time would not have earned me £25. Even over the course of the year, it probably wouldn't have earned me anywhere near £25. So already I feel like I'm getting a small payout from that. And obviously there is that chance to win a much larger sum of money. You can have up to £50,000 in a premium bonds account. So if you do win one of these smaller prizes, you can either opt to have that money transferred to your bank account or invest it into more bonds, which is what I've chosen to do. The only time I would ever not want to invest it into bonds is if it was more than the £50,000, because that is substantial money that could be life altering. But in that case anyway, you're not allowed to put it back into your account. You're only allowed a maximum of £50,000. So that's how I've been looking at my savings so far, but that's only since August. So if I calculate that over the course of a year, I'm putting £100 a week into a cash ISA. So that's £5,200 over the course of the year. I'm also putting £100 a month into my stocks and shares ISA. Now for now, I'm just going to assume that will stay roughly the same value. If it goes well, that will increase. Currently, my personal rate of return is just over 10% on my stocks and shares ISA, which when you compare it to a normal savings account where it's usually 0 point something percent, 10% is really, really good, but there's no guarantee it's going to stay like that. So I'm just going to assume that my £100 a month or £1,200 over the course of the year will still be roughly that at the end of the year, because it may have gone up and it may have gone down. And then I'm also putting in £1,200 into my premium bonds account, which again, I'm just going to assume will stay at £1,200. Of course, there is the advantage of winning prizes that could top it up a little bit, but let's just assume it will stay at that, which altogether over the course of the year would give me a savings of £7,600, plus or minus, in the case of the stocks and shares ISA, any gains or losses, and plus interest on my cash ISA and any prizes from the premium bonds. Now, £7,600 is a lovely amount of money to have saved over a year, but I do feel like I want to stretch that a little bit further. So I'm not actually going to change any of my direct debits. I'm going to leave my £100 a week going into my cash ISA, my £100 a month going into my stocks and shares ISA, and £100 a month going into my premium bonds account. However, I am setting myself a savings goal for this year of £10,000, which actually is a significant portion of my income. And just to point out, I'm not rich. I've not got a lot of money. I have a pretty much average paying job. In fact, I don't even know what the average income is in the UK, but I imagine I'm probably about that mark. So this is by no means going to be an easy thing for me to do. The way my payments going out are set up at the minute, I am left with a very, very small amount of money in my bank account at the end of each month. Almost to the point where I can get a little bit nervous, like, oh, that's getting quite low. But I know that I've not ran my money dry. I know it's just gone to a different savings location. It's not that I've completely burnt through all the money I actually have, I've just moved it somewhere else, so that kind of makes me feel a little bit better. But no, I don't, after all my savings have gone out and my bills have gone out, I don't have a lot of money left in my account at the end of the month. But given that I'm going to carry on my no-buy, I'm hoping that I will still continue to see just tiny little amounts of money left at the end of the month, and hopefully over the course of the year they can add up to that 2,400 that I need to top that savings up for a yearly goal of £10,000. The only other thing I want to mention, because I've not mentioned it now, is how my husband and I manage our finances. I am going to do a whole video about how we spend our money and budget our money, but we kind of have a 3-account system, and that is, we have his money, my money, and our money. I know there are a lot of couples that just put all their money into one account together, and we don't actually do that. So we both have our own bank accounts that our incomes come into, and then we both put the same amount a month, again, just a direct debit, into a joint account, and all of our bills are paid from that, and then anything left over is there accumulating savings in that joint account. So that's like our combined money. But then we also keep our own money separate. So I have my savings, he has his savings, and we also have our unaccounted for money that we spend on whatever we want to spend it on. So when I talk about this £10,000 in savings, that is just going to be from my money in my accounts, in my savings. My husband obviously has his own savings situation going on, and we also have a combined savings situation going on. So just to clear that up. So just to wrap it up really, you might be wondering why I want to be saving and investing. And the truth of it is I don't want to be employed until I'm 50, 60 something years old. I have a job right now that is very demanding, but it's a job I'm good at and I'm content in. And you know, I'm happy to keep doing it. It's enjoyable, it's rewarding, but it takes so much energy. I can't see myself coping in a job like that when I'm in my 50s or 60s. I don't want to be answerable to someone else when I'm in my 50s and 60s. So really, I would like to retire a little bit earlier if I can. And to do that, I need to start building up my savings soon if we don't want to be employed in the traditional sense up until retirement. And just to paint the picture for me, my retirement age is currently set at 67 years old, which is 40 years time from now. So that feels like a long time. And as I say, I don't think I have the energy to continue in a job this demanding when I'm that age. And I've mentioned in my New Year's resolutions video, even now I want to slow down. I want to start taking care of myself. And so I don't want to be employed forever. I would love, absolutely love to be self-employed. That would be amazing. But until then, you know, I'm happy in my job, I enjoy it, it's very rewarding, but it is very demanding. And so for me, saving up and eventually being able to have that freedom, saving up now and eventually being able to have that financial freedom is something that I am really going to focus on. It's really important to me, and saving for me is far more important than spending right now. And you know, it's never too late to start, but I am 27. I wish I'd have had this mindset when I first started earning money, when I had my first part-time job at 16. But you know, that's just the way life goes. If you are much younger than me, then do start thinking about saving as soon as you possibly can. So that's pretty much it for this one. So I will keep you updated throughout the year at various points, just on how that's going, how I'm feeling with the savings. I don't think I will have too much problem with the things that are already going out of my bank account, the direct debits I've already set up, unless something major happens, like something serious with our cars or our house, just something really serious which would require a large lump sum of money. Otherwise that should be okay, or you know, unless I get laid off from work or something. But that little chunk to top it up at the end, that's probably going to be more of a challenge. So I'm really going to try as early as possible to just start putting in little bits into my savings where I can, and that also will just go into my cash ISA. Okay, so that is everything for this video. Just out of interest, can you let me know down in the comments if you would be interested in more videos about money and your finances and budgeting? It's something I'm becoming really interested in, and so if it's something you guys are interested in, I'd love to share it on this channel. So let me know in the comments what you think. Also let me know what your savings strategy is, if you've already got one, or have you got a savings goal for 2021. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.